and welcome. This is the second installment of our interview series. Today I am joined by Ben Sugarman of the Nightlife YouTube channel. Ben, hello.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's good to see you.
Yes, thank you so much for coming. So why don't you give us a little more background about yourself?
Like you mentioned, I run a YouTube channel called The Nightlife. Primarily, the focus is kind of, at least right now, getting fans up to date with everything kind of Bowhurt, Armored Combat, Steel Fighting related. There's a lot of stuff kind of geared towards making sure everyone's kind of on the same page. It's very kind of new fighter and new fan or veteran fan friendly,
Hmm.
with that kind of focus in mind.
Yeah. I think you do a good job of bringing a lot of entertainment into it too.
I mean, we've all been in class before, and I've zoned out in way too many classes. So I know if I don't try and make it entertaining, then I'm gonna get a glazed over look, and
Mm.
like to have a little fun.
So, Ben, have you been able to see the whole project that I have in the works?
Yes, I saw the Kickstarter video.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. So I've got a lot of ideas of stuff that I want to bring into video, and I want to hear your thoughts on that, and what you like, what you don't like. So let's start off. What is You have more experience than most in the media because you create it. Uh, so tell me, what has been your experience? Have you had frustrations or uh, anything, any difficulties when it comes to trying to produce your content?
So it's kind of funny. It's still, I guess this is one of those like kind of realization moments where you say like I have experience in the media, because I can remember like the other day, like it was yesterday when it's like me and a few guys from Philly, a few guys from the Knights Hall were like, there is like no video of anything we do, and there's no sort of like digital content, and I kind of just got tired of it and said, screw it, I'm gonna do it myself. But I mean, as far as difficulties, I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of like difficulties with just like production, because luckily because like you just said, it's like kind of had no presence at all for, I'd say, the past 2 years. There's been a good kind of surge of it, but before that, nothing.
Oh
So it's
no,
kind of
yeah.
like an open field to go back and look at some old fights and do some of that. But then it also kind of presents a unique kind of challenge opportunity, that essentially there's a blank slate. You see kind of a lot of trends with YouTube, with the different challenges and TikTok dances and everything. It's kind of recycled content,
Hmm.
but with Bowhurt, everything kind of is new. So like everything from uh, Ashley doing amazing TikToks and kind of being like the patron saint mother of TikTok,
Yeah.
and Ringo, doing. He was probably the one that got me into this, and to see him still doing like the top tier kind of fight, and now starting to do more like kind of instructional stuff at the Knights Hall with some technique and stuff. It's awesome to see those challenges of feeling to bear the burden somewhat lessen.
Hmm. So we actually have a question from the chat. Dice Dragon, thanks for asking. Uh, they say, what would you do to? What do you think about recording practices? Have you experienced? You're with the Rhinos, yeah?
Yeah, Philly. So as far as recording practices, I definitely agree that some aspects of practice should be recorded. I would say if you're like hesitant about it, I'd say do it. It's generally a good idea, especially we have a surgence of a lot of new fighters, a lot of new teams coming up, and it's hard to kind of police yourself with some of your own techniques if you're not able to step back and look at it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't, plan practices around it. If if you're having some problems recording, or it's just one of those things you don't know how you're going to get it all in frame, then don't do it. You're there to practice. It's a tool for the practice, not the focus of the practice.
That's great advice. Yeah, and I think it's good for both like team practices and individual. If you're just doing Pell work and it's not too hard for you to set up a camera, and you have time to review that, you can really start fine tuning your skills.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge thing because you see the target, not yourself.
Yeah. And the important thing is that you take the footage, but you also got to review the footage. So you got to make sure you set time for that.
Or you can send it into one of the lovely content creators, and we'll break it down for you and give us free content. Everything's content.
Now with your channel, what do you want to? Where do you want to go with it, and what challenges do you think you have to get there?
So, yeah, it's kind of a question I've been asking myself recently too. Just with everything with COVID, kind of gave a step back and really kind of let the scene develop. And especially recently, I've seen some major strides in the content creation of Bohurt, which is awesome to see.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, at least for my channel, what I like to focus on is kind of a thing that I see is lacking within North America to begin with, is that Bohurt is great at putting on a show, but our leagues are terrible at building a fan base.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really anything to consistently draw you in. If the Knights Hall is the, I think, only exception, because the people that buy tickets, that is something that they can go in every other weekend. If you're I don't know, like in the middle of the country and there's one regional fight maybe every 3 months, I have trouble remembering weekly D&D sessions. I'm not gonna remember your steel fighting thing I've seen once. So the focus for me is kind of making that constant, or I shouldn't say constant because my upload schedule is pretty crap, but but at least my focus is to get the basics of Bohurt, which is an awesome name for a series, and it's a series I'm currently filming now, so check it out.
Excellent.
Shameless plug aside, but to build the basics so that people can become fans and understand what they're watching and sort of feel attached to it without just purely going off the shock and awe factor of seeing steel on steel.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about the consistency. With any sort of stream or webcomic or it's just like a Twitter page, consistency is important because they never tell you, but I'm pretty sure with the algorithms, if you're not consistent, they push it out even further.
Oh yeah, it's yeah, Facebook, YouTube, like whatever, take your pick. And I mean, you can make like sports are nothing without ESPN doing a constant drip feed. Like there's such a need for a constant just reminder and just a general presence for the fans. We do everything to attract fighters, like, oh, armor up, get in the list. It's like, or don't, buy a ticket,
right.
Hang out.
Yeah, we have to foster the part of the community that isn't actively fighting.
Right. Yeah, we love fighters, but then we don't actively turn our nose up at the fans, but it's like, some people just want to watch.
Yeah,
we love you for it.
If that's what you want and that's what you enjoy,
yeah.
So let's talk about other leagues, other sports even, and the videos that they produce. What do they do that you would love to see us doing?
So kind of along the lines of, and I tried to do it for a few videos, but then COVID kind of happened and it got weird. But I think there is a kind of gap that can be filled that ESPN does a great job of. UFC with the behind the ropes, or I forgot exactly what the docu series is, but just a media platform that kind of talks about the fights that happen in various regions, highlights fighters, starts to make, names common and teams common, and just kind of generally work towards uh, making it something that you can follow and not so much see when it's in town.
Mm. Yeah, one of the series that I was watching of yours that I really liked was when when we were having events, you would
Yeah.
do a regular sort of upcoming event check-in, you know, and you're able to give more info than just like reading a calendar.
Yeah, it was one of those things that I started, but it was kind of one of those things where I had too much on my plate and I had too many projects in my head that, unfortunately that kind of fell by the wayside. If I'm remembering right, I think my last one was like November of 2019, so I guess follow it back a little. I think
Well,
it's
honestly,
sometimes, yeah,
we didn't get far into spring season before everything stopped. So
yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like naturally it kind of fell off, but yeah, I definitely think and especially with the growth that's been in the community so far, and with you know leagues splitting, joining, like there's sort of still a layer of duct tape around everything, and to have it like really weld together and fused properly, I think is one of those things that digital content can provide, and is probably, like, if I were to put it, that's the most probably wanted thing by fighters and fans.
I agree. I actually don't have much to add to that. So now, is there any like little graphical things that you always love watching in sports, or you think adds to the sport? Things we could, I don't know, video overlays or
Right. So there was an interesting thread I remember seeing online not too long ago, and while we're on the topic of sports, can you swear on stream that kosher?
yeah,
Okay, fuck the Cowboys. There we go. Got to get it in there. But as far as overlays and stuff, so I kind of break it down into two separate categories of live events and post production, because uh, I love the content that a lot of the Bear's done awesome jobs. Like, I love watching his the pro fight series that he broke down. It's amazing information. Ringo again is one of those ones that has like a like fountain of knowledge, and Paul as well is one of those ones. I've said it to him a bunch of times, and I've joked with him that I think he has the personality. Like, if he were to just make some sort of vlog series or something, he's one of those ones that can really get like, I see him kind of as the Conor McGregor of this sport, where he's just that charismatic guy that'll just put butts in seats.
mm-hmm.
So when we talk about, like, streams and overlays, I would love to see a lot of the post production, and even simple little things with their videos. A lighting source, proper microphone that's not right on their face, some sort of editing with some overlays, and maybe some lines. Ringo was doing it for a little while with, like, the John Madden yellow
Yeah.
pen, but in definitely in the ones that, at least the most common content I see now, I think that's probably the biggest thing that can I use the term lovingly, but kind of puts us on a professional level and not necessarily makes us look like backyard bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not saying they are, but it, when you start to muddy that line, then they can't necessarily take it too seriously.
Well, and there is still that video out there on the internet of people having fun in their backyard, which is great if that's what they want to do. But it does create confusion as to what exactly we are doing as a sport when
Exactly. I've made that point a few times too. Like, there's nothing wrong with being a club or a league. Like, I'm never gonna get to like the the height of my fighting career and, like, join the national team or nothing. That's fine. I'm a club fighter. That's
mm-hmm.
great. But, like, then if there needs to be some lineation between sport and club, which we're seeing a lot more at the higher levels. But it's
yeah,
sometimes when I see some of those things brought up, I'm like, all right, do you want to be a club or you want to be a sport? Like,
yeah.
come on.
We see it, but we gotta help other people see it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's tricky. Um, so one of the things I hope to do, and I really hope it's going to be useful for other content creators, is while I'm doing the stream, I'll also be recording the raw film. And I hope to be able to create a catalog of like raw film, no overlays or anything muddying it up, so that other content creators can really make something with it without having to dance around, things that are just distracting.
Right, right.
How would you find that useful as a creator?
I mean, yeah, raw footage is always great. As far as footage goes, it's unfortunately, I haven't really had the chance to gripe about overlays so much on streams because a lot of them kind of are I heard Bear talk about it on your last stream where the cell phone at the event, it's that footage, which I'm gonna back him up on this. Tilt the phone. Just do it. You don't need to know the tech behind it. I'll put a little gold coin in your purse. Just go from here to here. Perfect.
Keep it sideways.
Yeah. But raw footage is always good. Especially the full field raw footage is always good.
Yes, definitely. Once I get my multicam set up, assuming our Kickstarter is successful, which actually this is a great time to mention the Kickstarter. So this whole video series is part of my attempt to spread the word about the Kickstarter. We are trying to raise $5,000 so that we can buy really quality equipment to bring the highest level of production I think probably the states have seen. That's my goal. So visit us at Kickstarter / Steel Tiger Media, and that launches March 1st.
Hey.
So now that I got to plug my thing, tell us more about your channel. How do we find it? Now, I have noticed it can be hard to find.
Yes. Unfortunately, Nightlife is kind of one of those things that you see a bunch in a bunch of different other like just different random stuff. But I think probably the easiest way is on Facebook, Nightlife, just facebook.com/Nightlife. Should come up. From there, you can get to the YouTube. And as far as that, I had a Twitch for a while, but I kind of found I was getting split viewership between, kind of spreading it a little too thin, going between Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. So keeping it simple, and when events start to open back up, you can catch the live streams of a lot of the live fights, which I kind of want to be the focus of my content, at least, is going to be the live streams and doing some commentating over it. So hopefully you've enjoyed this voice and want to hear it over some brutal combat.
And hopefully we can get more events going down in the sort of mid-east coast.
Yeah, just got to get some fuckers to mask up, and hopefully we'll beat it.
Yeah. So this Saturday, the Knights Hall is running an event. It's a very small, scaled down event, so we can be very COVID safe. But we'll be streaming that on the Knights Hall Twitch channel, which you can find the link to below. And once you get your Twitch back up and going, I'm definitely going to add it to my auto host list. So.
Yeah, and is this the Love Hurts event?
Yes, it is.
Yep. Such a good event.
So we don't have all the fancy equipment yet, but we're gonna do our best.
Yeah, I'm planning on putting out a video in the future. It's one of it's on like a never-ending Google Doc of plans in the works. But my big thing that I've been trying to push is especially a lot of the smaller regions, like all you need is a laptop, a webcam, and a semi-stable internet connection. Because just record it, send it out there. Quality's not the best. better
We
than
want,
nothing, you
yeah,
know?
we want something.
Yeah,
There's not
yeah.
a fight that we don't want to see, regardless of however you can capture it.
'Cause I guarantee, like every event, there's like two really cool moves that get done. That someone gets thrown off the list, someone takes a crack, and like their feet go up. Like we want to be able to, like, just put it in all of our videos, blast out, and be like, guys, Chet, this is the next big thing. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't have this, no one's gonna see it.
Yeah, so capture that footage. All right. So, thank you so much for joining me, Ben, today. I didn't want to take up too much of your time. We're keeping these pretty short. Is there any sign off you want to add?
No, appreciate the time to kind of, talk your ear off and impart my rantings on my soapbox. But yeah, otherwise you can catch me out on the Nightlife. We'll be doing some fights when it's safe to have them on the East Coast for us and some of the venues that we're working with. In the meantime, the current main project is the Basics of Bowhurt. Right now we have one going over the rules. It's a little long on the 20-minute side, but if you got some coffee that you want to sit down and enjoy, I try and make it as entertaining as possible. I like to kind of think of it, if you like what's it called, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. It's kind of along that line, so you'll enjoy yourself.
Mm-hmm. Not too dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it a little spicy for you.
All right, great. Well, thank you to the viewers that were able to come, and I hope you all have a great evening.
All right, thanks again for having me.
Anytime.